Shalom, shalom, everybody. It is Thursday, September 3rd, 2020. It's the 15th day of the 6th Hebrew month. This is my second video for the day. So if you haven't seen my first one, it is on my main channel, which is the very first link right below this video. Also, I noticed that it looks like Noah accidentally sent out my DanielLeeDaily.com e-newsletter a little too early today. It only included my first video rather than waiting until I got my second video out. So I did reach out to Noah and I told him to make sure that, you know, Monday through Thursday when I do these two videos that he waits to send out the e-newsletter until after I get my second video out. So sorry about that. We're just sort of, this is sort of a brand new thing. I'm really appreciative of what Noah's doing, but it's kind of a brand new thing that we launched, and I don't really have much control over when he sends it out, so we're still working out the kinks. If you're new to my channel, my name's Daniel Lee. I live here, as you can see, in beautiful Juneau, Alaska. This is not a green screen. This is real life right here. One of the many rainforests that cover this beautiful area in Juneau, Alaska. And my mission statement's very clear. I preach and teach the Hebrew Jewish roots of the Christian faith on my website, spiritandtorah.com. I exalt Yahshua, Jesus Christ of Nazareth. He is the only way, truth, and the life. I expose satanic pedophiles to investigative reporting on my YouTube channel. Been doing this now for over 2 years. I provide satanic ritual abuse survivors a platform to speak out on. I protect the innocent children by virtue of these other things, and I lead a nightly Zoom room prayer meeting. Every single night, we pray for President Trump, this nation, other subscribers, each other, and we'll be happy to pray for you. And again, just as a reminder, don't forget to also click on DanielLeeDaily.com. It'll send an e-newsletter to your email box for free with the links to my videos every day, but also, even more importantly, it's a way that I will have to be able to reach out to you if I ever get deplatformed. I needed to let you know where I'm posting next. So just trying to encourage as many of my subscribers as possible to sign up for that list. All right, so let's get right into this. So this is some really, really good news. It's put out by Deadline.com. Turkey, the nation of Turkey, orders Netflix to block the movie Cuties ahead of launch. Less than an hour after we published our interview with the director of Cuties, in which she defended her movie after a backlash against its US poster, the Turkish government has said it will order Netflix to block access to the movie. Reuters is reporting that the country's broadcasting watchdog claims the film contains images of child exploitation. No kidding. Turkey's family ministry had previously said the film, quote, may cause children to be open to negligence and abuse and negatively impact their psychological development, at the very least. Netflix did not immediately respond to requests for comment, but has bowed to censorship requests from the Turkish government in the past. So I want to caution people, I'm posting this article just so that people know I'm not making this up. Turkey is actually blocking Cuties, which is awesome. But this article put out by Deadline.com, it's very slanted, actually defending Cuties. You can tell the bias in it. They also have some disgusting ads, so I'm just encouraging you, probably, you don't need to go actually and look at this story. It's not going to be edifying for you at all, but I just wanted to provide the link so that people know that I'm not making this up, that this is actually happening. So hallelujah, that Turkey, of all nations, has decided to block Cuties, which that's what we should be doing here in the United States. We should not allow this type of trash to be shown with any type of streaming service here in the United States. Again, if you don't know, I've made a couple videos over the last couple weeks about this Cuties, where they're sexualizing 11-year-old girls in this show. It's just absolutely disgusting. Speaking of Netflix, Harry and Meghan sign a multi-year Netflix deal. Should we be surprised about this? Prince Harry and his wife Meghan have signed a multi-year deal with Netflix to promote hope and inspiration through a series of programs. In a statement, the couple said, through our work with diverse communities and their environments, to shining a light on people and causes around the world, our focus will be on creating content that informs but also give hope. As new parents, making inspirational family programming is also important to us, as is powerful storytelling through a truthful and relatable lens, blah, blah, blah. The pair, of course, stepped back from royal duties and relocated to California, with many criticizing them for holding on to their titles of Duke and Duchess of Sussex. It is unclear how much the deal is worth, with Netflix not disclosing the amount. So should we really be surprised? Netflix, which has been a center of satanic pedophilia, and now here we have Prince Harry and Meghan, who they have talked about those who scream the loudest, as Q references. They have been, particularly Meghan, very vocal against President Trump. And I've talked about them in other videos over the last couple of years about their ties to satanic pedophilia as well. So, yeah, birds of a feather flock together, I suppose. Now, this article from Your Destination Now, it's unbelievable. Governor Cuomo, New York governor, threatens President Trump. Quote, he better have an army to protect him if he comes to New York City. That's right, folks. We are now living in a nation where a governor of one of the most populated states in the Union is threatening the United States of America. It's bad enough that Nancy Pelosi, just what was it, a week or two ago, was on there, you know, threatening the Democrats, saying, or excuse me, threatening the Republicans and President Trump, saying that they were domestic terrorists. Now this, the New York Post reported New York Governor Andrew Cuomo on Wednesday all but threatened President Trump's safety if he returns to New York City, in a rant responding to an exclusive story by the Post that Trump is looking to pull federal funds from lawless cities, including New York. Cuomo called an emergency press briefing within a half hour on Wednesday night to tear into Trump for the order, which cites New York's rising murder rate and defunding of the NYPD. He better have an army if he thinks he's going to walk down the street in New York. New Yorkers don't want to have anything to do with him, the Democrats said, all but threatening the commander-in-chief. But Cuomo, who like Trump hails from Queens, wasn't done. He said, quote, he can't have enough bodyguards to walk through New York City. People don't want to have anything to do with him. Really? He can't have enough bodyguards? I seem to remember that if you start threatening the President of the United States physically, as the governor of New York is clearly doing, you should be getting a call from the Secret Service. Just absolutely asinine. The Democrat Party, they have completely and totally jumped off the deep end at this point. Now, I talked in my first video earlier today about the interview that Bill Barr had with Wolf Blitzer, and it's pretty funny. I mean, Bill Barr just sort of tears in and rips into Wolf Blitzer about Antifa and the rioting, and also about the clip I actually showed this morning had to do with the mail-in balloting and just what a fraud it is. But I wanted to talk about a little bit more about that interview. This is from an article from the Epoch Times. It says Antifa members flying around the country to engage in rioting. So Bill Barr said this. He said, I've talked to every police chief in every city where there has been major violence, and they all have identified Antifa as the ramrod for the violence, Barr said. They are flying around the country. We know people who are flying around the country. We know where they're going. We see some of the purchases they are making before the riots of weapons to use in these riots, he added. So we are following them. Of course, crossing state lines to engage in rioting is illegal and a federal offense, the Attorney General said. So I wanted to highlight this because the Attorney General is basically echoing what Q had posted a while back, where he said that the Patriots, President Trump, they have mapped out Antifa. They know what's going on, and what they're doing is they're cataloging everywhere they're traveling, finding out how they're making these airplane purchases, who's funding them, and they're going to get to the bottom of this. You know, this was something that Rand Paul was really vocal about last week when, after he left the Republican National Convention, I think it was on Thursday night, it was the last night of the convention, he was basically mobbed by Antifa as he was just trying to get back to his hotel there in downtown DC. And he was saying, we've got to get to the bottom of who's funding this, you know, whether it's Soros or whether it's the communists in China or whether it's Obama and his crony, whoever it is, we got to find out and we've got to prosecute these people. So Barr saying, look, we know what's going on and we're going after them and we're collecting all this information. So very, very good news there. Now I wanted to talk about this. This was sent to me from a subscriber. I'll just use her first name. It's Dina. And she said, Daniel, my neighbor snapped this picture last Tuesday, August 25th, and then texted it to me about 6 o'clock this evening. Vicky said it had just happened. She has not called me back, but I'm guessing she saw this on Fox or OAN. I will find out the station later. And what it is a picture of Mayor de Blasio giving one of his, press conferences. And here's an enlargement of the picture from the video. There's a guy standing behind him with the Baphomet satanic devil head. Okay, now, so in order to be able to stand right next to the mayor when he gives a major press conference, you know, you can't just be some random person that just gets there. You got to be someone that's been approved by the mayor. So here we see, yesterday I showed how President Trump is surrounding himself with people who are intercessors and praying in the name of Jesus. And here is the type of person that Mayor de Blasio is surrounding himself with. So very, very telling. And I did a little bit more digging, and me and Dina went back and forth, and she actually gave me the actual video where this comes from. So I'm gonna, and this is from OAN, by the way. This was a broadcast from OAN from a few days ago. So I'm gonna go ahead and post a link to that, and you guys can see this for yourself. Now, this is really interesting. Liza Minnelli, the famous pop singer. There was photos taken of her mansion. It's absolutely in shambles. And I don't know if you guys have seen this, but just absolute shambles. But I want to draw your attention to one key part of this picture. And that is right there where it says free pizza. Right there. This is Liza, or Liza, however you pronounce it, Liza or Liza Minnelli. Her mansion, which is just absolutely terrorized, but you see the free pizza there? Again, these symbols will be their downfall. Pizzagate, all over the place. All over the place. Yeah. Liza Minnelli's home. I'm not sure. This was published by the Tribune. I have just the photos. I'm not sure exactly when these photos were taken, but I think it was recent. Okay, finally, I want to cover this story. It's going to blow your mind. Another insanity going on with this COVID-19. This time it's from the UK. COVID hysteria, students excluded for turning their heads in class. I kid you not, or walking the wrong way. A school in the United Kingdom is excluding students for a week if they turn their heads in class or walk the wrong way around the classroom, in another example of coronavirus hysteria. A reader from Maryside contacted lockdownskeptics.org to relate the story. My boys started back at school today. They're usually quite robust and no nonsense, but they came home in tears. They have to face the front all day. If they turn their heads, it is a mandatory week exclusion. They must use the one-way system. Obviously, if they are caught not doing so, they are also excluded. 3 people excluded today because they forgot and turned the wrong way. They only get half an hour for lunch, but they have to queue up in silence for 20 minutes, and when they get in, they are moved off under the threat of exclusion, and they have to be back in their rooms by the stroke of 30 minutes, or guess what happens? Exclusion from the school. So no lunch. It's the only break they get. Guess what happens? If they talk in class, guess what happens? If the slightest bit of uniform is wrong, even though we can only order from one supplier and they're running 4 weeks behind. The parent adds that the children who don't make it to school before 8:30 in the morning, as well as those seen outside school before 8:30 a.m. will also be excluded. This is made all the more absurd by the fact that only one bus has been provided for the whole school, so many children have to walk to school. All the teachers are completely encased in acrylic boxes at the front of the classroom and aren't allowed to leave them while pupils are in the classrooms. This is just absolutely insane, guys. Meanwhile, at another boarding school in Hampshire that charges parents fees of £39,000 a year, all the pupils were sent home for 2 weeks after a single child turned up with just a sore throat. As we highlighted yesterday, another school has threatened to exclude pupils who joke about coronavirus. Just telling jokes about the coronavirus, you'll get kicked out of the school. In the meantime, COVID-19 deaths have completely flatlined, but the media and government continue to scaremonger about a second wave despite the fact that a rise in new cases is purely down to more testing. Just 6 children, only 6 children under 18 died in the UK with COVID-19, and all of them had serious comorbidity. They all had other underlying conditions. Oh, again, as I've said many times on this channel, if you can, if it is at all possible, whether you're living in the UK or the United States or wherever you are, try to homeschool your children. With this COVID-19 nonsense, it's just, it's not even appropriate for children at all. You don't treat children like that. Talk about child abuse, by the way. You're excluded if you turn your head the wrong way. Teachers are sitting in these acrylic boxes and can't step out. to interact with the students. I mean, it's just insane. It's absolutely insane. And yeah, I'm going to call it for what it is, which is child abuse. Child abuse. All right. If you like what I'm doing, if you appreciate what I'm doing, if you think I'm working hard and I deserve to be paid, this is my full-time career, which I love. I love doing what I do. So if you want to help me out, the easiest way to do so is through my PayPal. That is a link right below the video. That's the easiest way to send me a donation. I also have a Patreon. That's a link below the video as well. The way that works is you click on it. You can pledge any monthly amount you'd like, and then that amount is taken out of your bank account at the beginning of each month. If you're old school and you don't want to use the internet to send a donation, that's fine. I also have a P.O. box that's located below the video as well, and you can send me a donation through good old-fashioned snail mail. If you have a prayer request and you want our prayer team to pray for you, we will be happy to do so. Just make sure you email me. My email is in the description box below the video. You do have to unfold the description box and just kind of scroll down through the links. You'll eventually find my email. Email me your prayer request. I'll get it to our prayer team, and we will pray for you. All right, guys. Beautiful late summer day here in early September. It's about, I don't know, I think it's like 58 or 59 degrees. Finally stopped raining, so I was able to film out here. This is one of my favorite spots to film, next to this little creek here. All right, guys. Have a wonderful rest of your Thursday. And again, thank you for all your love and all your support. Shalom, shalom.